Your caffeine intake is ruining your sleep and making you tired. People often forget that caffeine is a drug. And just like any drug, it has a half-life and subsequently a quarter life. A half-life is essentially how long it takes your body to process out half of that drug, in this case, caffeine. Subsequently, a quarter life is how long it takes to process out another half of that drug. So then there's a quarter of it left in your system. For caffeine, a half-life is 6 hours and the quarter life is about 10 to 12 hours. So what does this mean for you? If you drink a cup of coffee at noon and you plan on going to bed at 10 o'clock or midnight that night, about a quarter of the amount of caffeine is still going to be in your system. Another way of looking at this is that you're chugging a quarter cup of coffee right as you go to bed. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to chug a quarter of a cup of coffee right when I go to bed. And the more caffeine you drink and the later in the day that you drink it, the more of an effect it's going to have on your sleep. Let me give you some examples. In most grocery stores, the average canned coffee has about 160 milligrams of caffeine instead of the 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine you're going to see in a normal cup of coffee. So if you drink the average canned coffee at noon, it's going to be closer to chugging about half a cup of coffee right before you go to sleep. And if you're someone who likes their afternoon pick-me-up at about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, about half of that caffeine is still going to be in your system when you go to bed. And to top it all off, a lot of the canned coffees and energy drinks out there now have 200 or 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is the equivalent of chugging a cup to a cup and a half of coffee right before you go to bed. So there are 2 ways to minimize caffeine's intake on your sleep. 1, try not to drink any afternoon. And 2, if you are going to drink any afternoon, stick to a lower caffeinated option like Half-Caff. I hope you found this helpful. Go ahead and give us a follow if you want to learn more about how to sleep better, how to have more energy, and if you just want to follow along as we create a half caffeinated canned coffee beverage.